Arkangel, overall, is a very interesting Black Mirror episode. Throughout it I found myself unable to support either side to the full extent, and truly I believe that the only destructive force was the Arkangel technology itself, as it almost took hostage the maternal instinct of the mother, disguising itself as a tool that could solve her darkest fears, only to become the very thing that allowed those fears to be realised, disconnecting her from the daughter through a stream, and disconnecting the daughter from important things she should have learned growing up, had the filter and the technology not been in place. Both characters are unbelievably unfortunate victims to this predatory technology. From the start, we can even empathise with the mother through what she experiences, as she almost loses a child in the park, only coming to see the negative effects of her actions and the negative effects of the technology nearing the end of the episode. That being said, in this episode of Meaning in Media, we're going to take a deep look at Arkangel and what makes it such a thought-provoking episode of Black Mirror. Specifically, the dangerous effects of the technology, and how it takes advantage of these people. We'll even look at the ideologies of both sides in detail and how we may be affected by these. So, first off, I have to say that the technology in Arkangel is fucked up. No ifs, ands or buts about it. Being able to see whatever your child has seen, or had seen in the past, is no power any parent should ever have over their child. Simply put, it is too tempting for any parent to not look at what their child is up to at least once, and should the mother have not been overprotective, it could have easily ended up that way after just seeing one thing they didn't like, such as when she caught her daughter doing the deed with her boyfriend. My point here is that this tech just amplifies pressure on the daughter, even when she does things that she really shouldn't have been doing. Though I am inclined to believe that the daughter would never have gotten her boyfriend had she not had the tech implanted in the first place. The boy showing her all stressful things and horrible things, making them get closer together and forming a bond and eventually a relationship. Furthermore, the technology effectively stunts the child's emotional development, and things could have been worse for the daughter should the technology have remained active longer without that short break. This is most clear with the dog that the daughter passed every day. She originally was in fear of the dog as a child, but eventually grew to love it and get to pet the dog whenever she walked past, something which would have never happened if she had the filter on longer, as it prevented her from facing her fears via exposure. It is through bad things that we actually grow and develop as people, which is why the technology is so evil, because it prevents that growth. The filter's disconnect from reality in particular has a much bigger problem overall that outweighs any possible benefit it might have had. Some countries in the series were expressed to have outright banned the tech due to its risks. The mother only truly realised this when it's too late, of course. Having had her head bashed repeatedly with the pad, while her daughter didn't think to stop, as she couldn't see the full extent of the damage, with the filter literally blocking her from what she was doing. While on this note, I have to mention that I saw someone say the daughter lacked empathy for not calling the police and running instead. Yeah, her not helping was somewhat understandable. She had been betrayed on multiple levels by her mother, and could have faced some form of charge for murder or even attempting murder. Her fleeing was entirely understandable here. This is not to excuse the actions of the characters within the story, especially the mother, as she makes a range of terrible decisions throughout the story that negatively impact them and the people around them. This is especially seen in the fact that, as a mother, she actively chooses to avoid communication with her daughter, instead of opting to spy on her with the old technology, and watching her from the next room on as opposed to actually trying to communicate with the daughter, which would have solved a lot of the conflict much earlier. Communication would have been especially effective in the case of the girl's irresponsible boyfriend, whom the mother could have managed to get her daughter to distance herself from. Instead, the mother uses blackmail and manipulation with the Arkangel technology, thus leading to her downfall and a loss of trust with her daughter. The lesson Arkangel is trying to teach us, however, goes a little deeper than just the dangers of paranoia and dystopian technology. It gives us a deep and comprehensive look at both sides of the argument and furthermore gives us a deep and comprehensive look at the flaws of both extremes. The mother's desperate protectionism of the daughter led to her to lose said daughter, and the daughter's extreme push for freedom, and all the freedom she could possibly desire, led to her to run away and get picked up by a random trucker and potentially even putting her in severe danger. Thus, in avoiding the Big Brother type privacy violations, she instead finds herself mired in uncertainty. In general, it was this episode that actually got me back into Black Mirror. Bringing the focus back onto destructive technologies and systems that ruin people's lives, and yet in some cases are just so innocent and even appealing in concept. All this technology was meant to do was keep kids safe by allowing parents to watch over their children like a guardian angel. But it went too far, and instead tore the mother and the daughter apart, thus resulting in a situation where the technology never should have been in place at all, displaying to us clearly that under no circumstances should we ever give a power of near omnipresence to parents, as tempting as it might sound, to protect children. To an extent, I am inclined to believe that, earlier in the story, the grandfather was right when he expressed just letting kids be kids was the right thing to do. As always, I have been your host, Meaning Media. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.